Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here. We're going to dive right into your reading. Sorry, I didn't get a reading out for you yesterday. I had a little accident and messed up my ribs and couldn't breathe very well. Still struggling today, but we're here. So anyway, let's dive in. Okay. Wow, Pisces, so much retrograde energy, so much like historical energy. I don't know how else to say it, but it feels like drudging up the past a little bit, but it feels like it in a way in which it sets it free. I don't know how to describe that, but anything that's meant to be, I feel like will be, but sometimes we just have to look at things to really see them. Okay. Yeah, Pisces. Okay. I'm just going to call this one like I see it. I'm just going to do it like this, you guys. I actually see this as your energy and your person's energy right here. And I see this yang energy in the middle, which is action, male, masculine energy. And it's a 1 card. And this is a lot the energy that I have been feeling. You have flexible on the bottom of the deck, which I just got, it could go either way, like an announcer at a sporting event. Maybe it was a boxing event. Like it could go either way, like the call. I don't know. Okay. Sorry. Oh gosh. I'm seeing like feet walking across the bottom of a lake. And as it does, there's all this sediment that sort of rises up and kind of gets into the part of the lake water that has light shining through it from the sun. So it's like, I don't know if things are coming up to the light, things that we've left behind, if they're kind of coming up into the light. But it feels like there's a history between these two energies, and it feels like there's potential for some kind of action to be happening in this particular energy. I feel like we're dealing with someone here who has a fear of abandonment, or who has, in their experience in love, it just hasn't really worked out for them. They may not believe in love. They may not... It's like they're kind of putting their faith in the fates. This is the 17 card, which is the star card in the major arcana. It's, you know, it's giving me this vibe of someone who doesn't necessarily take control over this part of their life. Not to say that they don't take control over other parts of their life. I do feel that. They can be very, you know, going after things. But when it comes to their heart, I feel like there's this energy of like kind of fetal position, wanting to protect it, just because of, I think, past experiences. I feel like your energy, Pisces, is a bit more like where this person feels the cup is half empty, you sort of feel like the cup is half full. You know, you feel blessed. You feel like your cup runs over. You have always been, I feel like, in pursuit of something in your life. I feel like when things haven't worked out for you, and, you know, you may have taken some time to feel down about it or sad about it or let yourself grieve it. But then I feel like you've always kind of picked yourself back up and like gone back out there. and done it. And I feel like your life reflects that. I feel like this person's life reflects this. Not to say that they are not accomplished or whatever, but I feel they're lonely. And I feel like you probably have people pursuing you. Feel these lights chasing after this time to go. Kind of energy. I feel like you did at one point leave this person behind because they were well, it's giving me, you know, like, I just saw this quote by Reese Witherspoon where she said that, like, life is too short to be with people who don't appreciate you. It was way longer than that. I really paraphrased it. I felt like saying I took a lot of liberties with that quote. But that's kind of what it feels like. It's kind of like, I don't know that this person's ever going to be able to meet me where I am, or be able to, like, pull themselves out of this to, like, come into this. But I feel like there is some kind of opportunity here right now that's coming out, given by the universe, given by time. It feels like timing. You have some kind of flexibility here, which is just giving me that, you know, sometimes working these things out is a bit of a compromise, or requires us to bend so that it doesn't fully break apart. Let's see. What do we have? Man, see, you got these swans. This is they mate for life. They're soulmates. And you have this partnership card. Man, so you may be at a distance from this person. There could be distance as in time. I keep getting there's been some time here that's passed. I think you both have had some pretty big realizations. I'm actually going to clarify this realizations card, because the thing is, it's giving me that this person is your person and that you are this person's person. It's like you have become aware of that. Sorry, my dog and my granddog are playing tug of war with an octopus. Yes, that's exactly what you have realized. I think you both have realized it, to be honest with you. There's two people on this Hierophant card. It may be, though, that, like, you've realized it. You may have known it all along, and you were ready to open up to it, but this person, because of their past experiences, shut down with the same energy. But I think since you have even been apart, it's even become more clear that this is something spiritual. There's something spiritual that keeps you bound together, even when you're apart. And there's this energy of kind of like, why don't we just take this leap of faith? But you've got this guarded heart right here. I'm just going to clarify that too. What the hell? I mean, really? So Pisces, you know, with the High Priestess here, you kind of have this deep inner knowing that when something is guarded, you can't get in by force, or by, you know, wanting to get in, or by attempting to fix it, or attempting to remove those swords from the heart. It's like when someone gets a wound, like if someone got stabbed, sometimes you're not supposed to pull the sword out because they would bleed out. And it's kind of like, while you see the sword and while you see the injury, and while maybe you have healed from the exact same injury, or you have some training or knowledge in how to fix that exact wound, there's this energy of kind of knowing on a higher level that you shouldn't, and that it's not in your highest and best, and that until this person removes the swords from their own heart, which the swords in their heart are not the actual event of the heart breaking, but what they're telling themselves about the heart breaking. Until they're able to shift this narrative, there's not really a lot you can do. So you sort of remain elusive and closed off and in your own world, because you know that's in your highest and best. Even though you feel a spiritual connection with this person, you know that if you remove the sword by force, they may bleed out, and that it's for them to want to do and to figure out how to do for themselves. Okay, let me see this long distance. So for some of you, there's a long overdue apology or a long overdue being really honest about how we feel or what we're thinking. There was some kind of difficult ending, or even the time apart has been difficult, possibly, where, you know, our thoughts have gotten the best of us, or our thoughts have been self-defeating, or maybe we feel like, you know, we are kind of draining ourselves, like thinking about this person or continuing to care about this situation, and that, you know, time and distance have come between us on purpose or for a reason, you know. And it feels like, Pisces, in this time and distance, your stock has risen. And it feels like in this time and distance with this person, they've sort of churned in this energy of mental weight, you know. But it does feel like it's possible for it to come to an end. You have the Ten of Swords and this yang energy, where it feels like now may be the time where it's possible for us to shift our thinking and for us to possibly even close this gap with real honesty, with real heartfelt, authentic communication. Maybe they were afraid to take a risk before. Wow, so this person, they still feel like you belong to them. There is this energy of, you are my person, I am your person. But it feels like the only way to sort of keep this connection balanced is in the absence of each other because of the fear. Because fear always kind of steers this person away from the connection. Good Lord. But they still feel that you belong to them. There's also a sense here that, like, I would need to be able to give as much as Pisces gives. And I think they fear that they can't, that they don't have it to give, or that they don't know how. All right. Interesting. Guys, relax. Lay down, honey, lay down. Oh my gosh. Guys, come on, stop wrestling. Lay down. Yeah. Oh God, you guys, seriously. I mean, apology needed is giving me this Page of Cups in reverse energy. It's like, it doesn't necessarily have to be an apology, but it could be an apology. But this is authentic, honest communication, from the heart communication. I think that when you both think of who you would marry, you only think of each other. The Hierophant is coming on this realization here, and now you have thoughts of marriage here. I feel like there's a super big attraction here between both of you. I feel like it's very mutual. I feel like, you know, this falling in love, I'm going to clarify it. I feel, you know, sometimes when we're with someone, we're so hyper-focused on the experience of being with them that we need space in order for kind of the realizations or the feelings to breathe. And I feel like with this person, yeah, they're very guarded and protected against falling in love. Yeah, they have to actually make a conscious choice to allow themselves to fall in love because of this energy here. And I think this person knows that of all the people they've ever met, if they were going to take a chance or a risk on anyone, it would be you. But that, and that you're the only person they can see themselves having a real future with, where love is part of the equation, They may be someone who tries to keep things very superficial or surface level, and they may have even tried to have relationships that were kind of superficial or surface level, like, because it's easier for someone like this to have that kind of experience where feelings really aren't part of the equation. But I feel there's something here where that didn't work for them, or, I know this sounds crazy, or I don't know if it sounds crazy or not. I don't even know why I said that. But what I'm getting is that they feel like a relationship like that is very vulnerable, because it's like, what I'm seeing is, if you were to find someone that was more attractive than them, or richer than them, or smarter than them, all things they know exist out there, that you could leave them, that it's such a superficial bond that they can't really trust it. And someone like this has to be able to trust something like that. So it's like they've figured out that they wouldn't be willing to have kids with someone like that, because I don't know if this person is wounded from their own childhood of divorce or something, but it's like, I don't want to do that I don't want that to be the way. And if it's superficial and nothing more can grow from it, because that's the depth of the person that I'm with, then, what is really the point? I feel this person is extremely lonely. They've painted themselves into a corner where something superficial doesn't work, but something deep doesn't work either. You know what I mean? And so it's bringing them to this place of death, of transformation. On the bottom of the deck over here, you have transformation. Ouch. Oh, God. Whew. Guys, man, the ribs. Oh, the ribs. This is my second time with ribs. And Lord, I hope it's my last in my life. Ooh. Let me just drink my tea here for a second. Catch my breath. Hi, Bubba. Yes, I love you so much. Guys, don't wrestle in here, please, seriously. Bunchy, take the squirrel out into the hallway. There's a big open space out there for you guys. So this person is sort of standing at this crossroads of, if I decide to be vulnerable, if I decide to let myself love or have a deeper level relationship, if I decide to let my guard down and open up to this situation, it's like I have to know that, like, it's safe, that it's I want to say that it's the right choice. There's someone also that doesn't want to fail. What is be vulnerable? Be vulnerable, please. See, this is someone who, they know what they want and they're willing to go after it in life. I keep getting this feeling that they have been successful in other aspects of their life. And I think, they know what they want, but it's kind of like, knowing what they want and going after it and admitting it and saying it out loud and acknowledging it are all just sort of very different things. And so it's like they want it, and I think you feel the energy of them wanting it, but the rest of it, I'm not sure. You have the Three of Pentacles here, which is sharing a vision. Yeah, man, this person is equal parts, like, afraid to lose the opportunity, but afraid to make the offer. For this person to really say what they want, they would have to share their vision for the future, their plan, and they would have to collaborate. And then if it failed and they had invested everything that they had in it, it feels like it would be a failure. It would be some kind of rejection. It would be something, their whole life has only confirmed this energy. So the chance of this happening feels, 98%. The chance of this working, wow, look, and there's the King of Wands, divine partner. The chance of this working feels, slim, but it's like if they were going to gamble, if they were going to bet on anyone, I feel like they'd bet on you. And I feel like part of it is because they've been watching you go, because they've been watching you rise, because they've been watching you succeed. Improve communications. What is that? This person, okay, in order for them to go after what they want, there is a cycle that has to close out. And I feel like this cycle is them sort of letting go of everything that they've allowed to block them from being open to love in the first place. And this is that they need their mind put at ease as to like what your intentions are, what you're willing to do, what is really happening here. And I think it requires risk on your part. It's a huge risk on their part too. But I think it's almost like, you know, there's just this sense with the Six of Swords in the boat of like needing you to lead them from this place where their mind is really, you know, preventing them from being able to be vulnerable, being able to open up, being able to communicate, to taking them to a place where their mind is at ease, that they can say what they want to say, that it is safe, and that you want the same thing that they want. I say all this, but I caution you that you know, do I think that you should just pick up a phone and call this person and say, you know, like, this is how I feel, da 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 da. No, I don't. I mean, you know, I try not to give advice, but I don't think that that's what Spirit's saying. I think that Spirit is just saying that that's what would be necessary to like improve the communication here. And that is a choice that you make, knowing kind of what you're dealing with here, because you're still dealing with someone who's afraid and who is sort of closed off with their back turned in the fetal position, afraid to open up to love or feelings. Let's go into the tarot and see what we get. I am just going to get 3 cards here. I hope. Spirit, please give me 3 cards: the past, the present, and the future. What is the past for this Pisces relationship? Oh, okay. What is the present? What is the future? Oh. Wow. Here's the transformation. You know, I'm just getting like, after all this time, you're still the one that I want. You're still the one on my mind. You're still the one that I come back to. So, wow. There is some kind of real, like, foundation to this connection. When I say, like, a real foundation to this connection, I mean, as in I feel like there has really been a history here, or a, like, maybe it did not ever really reach its full potential, right? But it got somewhere. And there is some foundation of knowing who this person is and them knowing who you are. This energy, it is saying that there is there's incredible potential all around you at this time. And this is about kind of determining what your beliefs are and what you're committed to. And this is about stop. package. That's how they greet UPS. I feel like I need to like leave a present for UPS while my grand dog is here. She's going to a trainer for 3 weeks coming up here. Are you going to doggy school? Are you going to doggy school? No, get down. No. Grand dog must hurt. Grand dog must hurt, bro. You gotta stay down. But that's interesting. Did you see that? The package was delivered as we were talking about this moment in time and this being a time of great potential here where things are possible. But one of the key things about opening up to what's possible is, and actually, you know, relationships are about loving another person, sure, but they are also the gateway to what's happening inside of us. And when we're willing to look at a relationship like that, when we don't look at the other all the time and say, I need them to do this, I need them to do this, them, my whole life is about them. And we remind ourselves that it's about us. And we use it as an opportunity to look at ourselves and to look at our own outdated beliefs that have potentially even been sabotaging us. Even when we think, and I have learned this through yoga, I can't even tell you countless times, that even when we think we have reached our full openness, we can always open more. And it's like that with everything in life. And sometimes we think, okay, well, I need to guard myself. I need to protect myself from hurt and from pain and from this and from that. And if I come at this with extreme honesty or like we believe there's a certain way to do something. But if we don't evaluate that with ourselves and our own true core beliefs, and we just sort of say, well, society says that this is kosher and this isn't kosher, or this is good and this isn't good, then, you know, we're really letting society dictate to us how we what am I trying to say? Go across a certain space, navigate a space, but like I'm seeing it as transcend or something. And so the thing is, sometimes what we need to do is examine why we aren't opening up, why we aren't being vulnerable, and what would happen, what is the risk if we do, and what is the core belief around that. Because not that that means you have to go opening up or doing anything weird or anything. I'm not saying to do that. But I'm saying we need to look at why we're not. And why, you know, what is our core belief about really being vulnerable? And what are we afraid of? Because chances are we're mirroring the other person, or chances are there's something in there for us to learn, but also once we unlock that door, it can be possible for the other to unlock the door as well. Sometimes we're the leader, you know, in going through a certain space. And each situation is so unique. Every relationship is so unique. You know, who the people are fundamentally, and what their beliefs are fundamentally, and what their histories are. And, you know, all of these things, they are all just so individual that there isn't a way that is right to navigate a space. You know, if you watch a dating video, they'll tell you this is the only way to handle a certain situation. But the truth is, there may be insight and advice and something you can learn from that. But the truth is, you're the only one that really knows your situation and really knows yourself. And so you've got to trust your own intuition. You've got to trust what you're telling yourself. And you also have to be freaking honest with yourself, because what we do is we tend to tell ourselves what we want to hear, and we have to be able to differentiate this. This is the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords is clarity. And it feels to me that the clarity here is that, man, you're my person, and there's a spiritual connection here. And if exploring this connection means that I have to be willing to transform, or I have to be willing to be vulnerable, then so be it. That doesn't mean that the other person is going to step up in the same energy and be vulnerable in return. Do you see what I'm saying? They may not. They may not be capable of it. We've seen where they're coming from. But you're not responsible for someone else's behavior or actions or inactions. You only have to live with yourself. But the key here is, if you're saying something in order to get a response, or you're doing something in order to get a response, then you're probably not doing it for the right motivation. If you're moved from a place of, in order to maintain alignment within myself and be honest with myself and be dedicated and devoted to what drives me and moves me and what I want in life and what I desire, this is what's required of me in this moment. Do you see what I'm saying? Take it as it resonates, guys. I'm definitely not advising you, and I'm definitely not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you the messages that I'm getting here. Okay? Guys, stop. The thing is, I'm definitely getting right now is a special time. It's a special time. I'm just getting that with this Ace of Swords. The timing right here is what's really important. There's an opportunity for movement. It requires bravery. It really requires bravery. So here we have this sort of false bravery of the Emperor, but you see there's an Emperor here and an Emperor here. There's only one Emperor. You can't have two Emperors. So what this is giving me is someone who's really in the shadow, but is projecting that they sort of have it all together, that they're sort of, you know, in the lead, or that they're capable of leading or whatever. But you know, when you let someone drive a car and they don't really know where they're going or what they're doing or whatever, but they're just like, oh yeah, I know how to drive, or I got this, I know where we're going. And then it's like, you're lost, you're late, and da-da-da-da-da. And then it's just like, maybe a fight ensues, or we'll just call it like a breakup, right? Because the person really didn't know how to lead. They didn't really know where they were going. They weren't really up for the position. They were just projecting that they were. It's like fake it till you make it. And it's like they never made it, you know, or they did make it, but they were a day late and $1 short. And it's kind of this energy of someone who really needs to keep their appearance up. And when something happens that chinks their appearance, or their image, or their persona, or their whatever, that even the lie that they're telling themselves, that they have all their shit together, you know, that they can drive, that they can get there. Sure, of course, you know, I'll get there eventually. I'll make enough mistakes that eventually I'll make a right turn. I feel like this is a lesson that this person needed to learn. You have this like diploma in the Emperor's hands here. I feel like this is something that, it feels like a bit of an immature energy, and it feels like a bit of something that you came into this person's life to teach them. I also think that there's something here about you where you were probably the one more capable of leading, better suited, better equipped, and yet you deferred and let the other person lead. And I think that that is something to look at. We're going to see, because we're going to further clarify this, but I'm definitely getting that message. That if this person led, it's because you let them, and because you were so willing to believe in their ability to lead over your own ability to lead. What might the outcome have been had it been reversed is kind of what I'm getting. We don't know. We can never know, right? But it's just, kind of giving me that vibe. Now you have this well-deserved reward in this present moment. I think you both have worked hard, actually. I feel like you both have made strides in your life since you were together. I feel like, you know, your efforts are paying off, and I feel like their efforts are paying off. I feel like your efforts may be a bit more visible, or maybe a bit more like, you know, I don't know, recognizable. But I think they have too made some changes. I think they feel differently about themselves. I think it's more of like an internal thing. This card literally in this deck is saying that you will soon find that relationships are falling into place. That it hasn't always been easy, but that you've had the determination to persevere. This is the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior energy. You know, it's also admitting that at different times in your relationship, you may have had to give more than you wanted to give, or an unequal amount, but that, you know, in the end, it sort of results in something positive sometimes, you know, not always. And this isn't I'm not here as a poster child to say, yes, overgive in relationships. I don't believe in that. You know it. But sometimes we do inadvertently, and sometimes it does work out after the relationship has a chance through space and time to rebalance itself, to become equal again. Then sometimes there can be a payoff for that overgiving you did at one time. But this is all about also keeping your ultimate goal, your ultimate wish in line. You know how he's holding on to that one wand, that one thing he could never give up on, that one thing he could never let go of. That he persevered. It could have even been the light in the darkness. Oh God. Oh, I think I might cough, and it hurts so bad. I hope I don't. Okay, then you have this, in the near future, you have love abounds. And it's trust, optimism, open, radiate. You guys have gotten this new love energy so many times. I feel like this is new love with the past person, but this could also be new love with a new person. It could be that, you know, you say your piece and you discover that, man, this person hasn't really changed. This really still doesn't have an opportunity. And this might be the time where you go, okay, I've given it everything I have, and I'm ready to let it go. I'm ready to walk away. You have that energy here as well. And for some of you, I mean, this is a general reading, so some of you will definitely come to that conclusion. But remember how I told you in the beginning, it feels like freedom. This energy of this, like, I don't know if it's silt at the bottom of the lake coming up into the light, where the sun is shining through the waters. There's all these particles in the water. It's freedom, and it's finally letting something go to rest. You know, not catching it, not moving it around more, but just letting it fall to the bottom to rest, and leaving it in peace, in a place of peace and acceptance. And we did have that Six of Swords coming out here, clarifying this improved communication. If you meet a brick wall trying to improve the communication, then you know, hey, something hasn't changed. Nothing's happening. So I can move to a place of peace now and be free of this situation, knowing that I literally gave it everything I had. And maybe you already feel that way. Maybe you already know that. And maybe you haven't given up on love, and that's what this Nine of Wands is talking about. And now maybe you have something new coming in. There is this eye in the center of the heart. I feel that you know this. I feel there's something that you intuitively know. This card showing up is telling you that you have the potential to achieve everything that you want. The powerful energy of love surrounds you. Use it. Listen to your heart. What is it asking you to do? Should you reach out your hand in friendship to someone, offer forgiveness, or make yourself more available? Trust in your ability to create and maintain true loving relationships. Now is the time to make that happen. That's what I'm feeling. It is this energy that I was getting from this Ace of Swords of, you know, what is it going to take to have success? And And is this something that, you know, oh God, that you, sometimes it requires a move on your part to transform something first, especially if you're the one that maybe should have taken the lead to begin with. And I don't like the word should. I think everything has worked out exactly as it was meant to. I definitely feel there is an essence of divine timing here. The timing thing has been coming out from the very beginning. So everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. It's just, what are we going to do with it from here? This feels like an unfinished business or a dangling participle, or, you know, something that is kind of preventing you from being able to accept some kind of new beginning. So either the new beginning is with this person, or there is something of finally having complete clarity and being able to move away from it, that allows you to move into this new space. So let's clarify, okay? The Emperor here for Pisces. Please, Spirit, what can you tell me? Oh, God, you guys, I just dread when the cards go on the floor, and here the first two have, yeah. You're definitely, a cycle is closing out, and it feels like, okay, hold on. Okay, that wasn't so bad. A cycle is closing out, okay, and this is an important cycle. I think it's a cycle in which you sort of waited for the other person to lead, to, I think it's a cycle where you kind of believed or expected that this person was kind of capable of like leading, like stepping into the leadership role, or was capable of really taking this relationship where it needed to go. I feel like with the Queen of Swords energy here, especially coming out with the Three of Pentacles, there's kind of this energy of like, Pisces, you know best, you know, you are the one with the discernment. I feel like you know, I feel like you really wanted to share a vision with this person. You were willing to plan with this person. You were willing to collaborate with this person. Sometimes with the Queen of Swords and the Three of Pentacles, there's an energy too of where you thought you were on this path with this person and then found out you weren't. Like the rug got pulled out from underneath of you, or like you realized that that it was only you in the collaboration, or that you were the only one with the truth and the true intention, or the true capacity to do it, and it may have actually hardened you a little bit, or kind of made you a bit bitter, because you realized at some point that it was only you holding up your end of the bargain, and this other person was blocked and may have even been very selfish, only concerned about what they wanted, or about kind of filling their own cups, or making sure they were emotionally content, but really incapable of actually contributing, and truly collaborating. This may have been a very burdensome cycle for you with this Ten of Wands here. I think it was burdensome for them too. I feel like it was overwhelming for them, or that, you know, it's like they couldn't quite move beyond, what blocked them. I feel with the Five of Wands, you know, I oftentimes talk about this as like a fifth chakra blockage. I always envision it as that kind of being in between the heart and the throat. The throat is our fifth chakra. And it's almost like a bird's nest that like catches emotion before it's able to be voiced, you know? So this can be someone who may have felt incredibly emotionally content in this relationship. You know, they may have even had their needs met, but they were not able to really say how they felt. Hey guys, please don't wrestle in here. Take it out there. Bhakti, please. Please, you guys get too crazy playing together. My 7-year-old dog thinks he's a 2-year-old again, playing with my granddog. Guys. Okay, thank you. Can you take it out there, please? Yeah, go lay on the cool tile. That looks so nice out there. Go on, you guys. But I feel like it, you know, we have the 5 of Wands to the 10 of Wands, and it's like, you know, as with all burdensome cycles, it's like you can only carry the weight of these burdens for so long. They become overwhelming. They become so difficult. They become something that prevents you from ever being able to move beyond that space. You know, they're very limiting. And it feels like with this person, with the 10 and the 0, that there is this completion and then this readiness, this freedom to actually take a leap of faith. So this completion could be that we had to end a burdensome cycle in this relationship. In other words, it had reached its full potential, or as far as it could go under the circumstances that it was under, and that we each had to go our own separate directions as fools moving on, because we were not able to like release the burdens of the past. It can also be where this person finally reached their breaking point and had to let it all go. You do have the 10 of Swords also on the bottom of the deck. So this is very, very, very clearly about this cycle wasn't something that could continue. It can also be, honestly, you guys, where, you know, people who project also have a tendency to attract people who project. So this could be even with these 10s where this person may have been attracting other people that were kind of in their energy and dealing with people that were kind of giving them back what they had given to you. And they may have even realized how burdensome or difficult or tiresome it actually was, you know, through experiencing it themselves and being like, I don't want to be that person to someone else. With the Fool card, there's this real shift in energy of, okay, well, I have to clear this energy away because it's not sustainable, and I have to go in a new direction. I have to take a new path. So it could be that this person actually had to leave an entire environment or an entire situation that grew too heavy and too weary and too difficult, and really was like blocking them from being able to experience happiness on their own. Yeah, okay. Okay. So this is definitely some kind of test that we're in here right now, presently. So there is a real, how do I want to say it? Pull towards, it's like, I haven't given up on this. I want this. It feels like with this relationship. But there's all these, the 5 of Swords with the 2 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords in reverse, is really, actually, I have to clarify the Tower anyway, so I'm just going to clarify this energy as well. But a lot of it is very green, which is the heart chakra. And it's giving me like, I haven't been able to give up on this, but every time I go to address it, it really throws me off balance, and it makes my mind kind of play tricks on me, kind of defeat me. It makes me feel like, well, what is this person's intentions? Well, what is happening here? Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. Wow. I mean, you guys, there's a lot of potential here in this relationship. Holy shit. This is like, oh my God. Oh, wow. Okay. It's like, I can't give up on this. After all this time, this person is still the one. I just keep getting that energy. And it's like, they're the one that I see myself being able to be emotionally content with. They're the one that I feel like I could give to and trust to give back, that I want to reciprocate with. They're the person I want to share a vision with. I want to share a plan with. I want to collaborate with. But what happens every time we go to pick up this fucking wand, excuse my language, but seriously, is that it sets off, it triggers this entire response of the Two of Pentacles, this choice between love and fear. I want to, but I'm so afraid. And the Five of Swords. My mind is playing tricks on me. Does this person really want something with me? Are they really coming back for the right reasons? Are they going to hurt me again? What are their intentions? Have they really changed? Blah, 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 blah. And the Seven of Swords in reverse, which is like wanting to let go of anything that isn't aligned with me. Me with myself and me with this person. And sometimes the fear will make you feel like the person is the problem. And it's in that moment that your best bet is to look within you. Because what is driving you to come to this point all the time? It's this unending desire to be with this person and the fear that it instills within you. And that triggers this response of do I, don't I, what am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? And so the only way to balance that out, it's not by reaching out to that person. It is by going within. And it is by looking inside yourself at why this is happening and where is it coming from and addressing it and settling it, balancing it, looking at it, healing it, nurturing it, giving it whatever it needs. Because the truth is, it's being set off because this is the only person you can see yourself being with. And it just feels like that's your truth. And that's been your truth. That's been the truth that has persevered through a lot of time and space. Instead of resisting it, instead of saying, no, I can't have that, that's not good for me, that person's not right, I mean, the thing always exists. The chance does exist that this person has changed. Now, when I'm saying all of this to you, I hope you realize I am not talking about narcissists. They do not change. That's not a situation that we're talking about here. I also don't see that energy here. I see someone who's been abandoned in their life, and every time they've tried to love has been very, very hurt, and is therefore very, it's very difficult for them to trust and to allow themselves to be in love. But if you can figure out the answer for you, then you can be what that person needs to make them trust you, because you have figured it out inside yourself. This isn't about the other person ever. We're so tricked into believing that. As human beings, we think that when something gets fucked up within us, what we need to do is fix something outside of us. We got to get rid of this person, or we got to say this over here to that person. That's how we're going to fix it. And that's just not true. When something's messed up inside of you, you got to go inside of you to fix it. Fixing something on the outside is only going to give you temporary relief from it. It may only placate the problem for a moment, but that problem still exists within you, and it's going to keep coming up until you deal with it. So you might as well, especially when it feels like this love is on the line and it's something you can't give up on, and it's something you've not been able to let go of, you got to go inside and ask yourself, why am I getting like this? What is it? Because once you figure it out for you, then you can be the presence that the other person needs in order to be able to do it for themselves. You know, when you're looking into, you're a mirror reflection for another person when you're in a relationship. Like, you're a mirror reflection for another person when you're in a relationship. So if you're calm and you're sure and you're true, they are going to feel that. That's what they're going to be responding to. If you're the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, they're going to respond to that as well. And they're going to sense your difficulty. And once someone has hurt us emotionally or caused us to suffer emotionally, it is hard. It is really hard to be that calm, mirrored, that calm, glassy surface that's really sure about themselves. But let me tell you, what makes you sure about yourself is not that you know for 100% certain that that person's not going to hurt you again. What makes you sure about yourself is your ability to deal with it if they do. That's what it is. That's what it is that keeps the waves away. It is your own strength within yourself to know that if the worst happens, you're going to be okay. You're going to pull through. That's what it means to live fearlessly. And when you are in that energy, you inspire the people around you to be in that energy. And so what it is we've got to let go of the things that are not aligned with what we want. What we want, that 9 of Wands, what we're clarifying here is this thing, this relationship, this person that we haven't been able to give up for some time. I mean, for a lot of you, this is more than a year. You have this Ace of Cups on the bottom of the deck. That's what is required in order to get here to have this with this person. And I say with this person, but no. Spirit is giving me, if it is not this person, it is someone else. Fuck, man. I mean, seriously, guys, I'm cussing up a storm. I don't know if it's my rib. I don't know if it's what, but like, it is just what needs to happen. I'm sorry about it. My channel is not for kids. I have my videos marked for not for under 18, so don't worry about that. You have the Tower, and it's being clarified by this freaking 5 of Swords energy, the Ace of Swords, and the 2 of Wands. And you know, this is where I kind of want to say the shit hits the fan, where it's kind of like, okay, you know, I may have built this ivory tower to protect myself, and we do that. We do that all the time, and we do that many times in life, where we have to tell ourselves, I have recovered from this, I have healed from this, I have rebuilt myself, look at me standing on this pedestal. And I think a lot of you have done that. I think a lot of you have legitimately done that, okay? But also there are ways inside of that and offshoots of that are sort of false narratives that we tell ourselves, like we have to be this way. So there's a real difference between I'm making healthy choices and I'm building on a solid foundation of healthy choices. And then there's, I have to be this way. Like, I don't want to be this way, but I have to be this way. This is the only way for me, which is like, I can't call this person. I can't text this person. I can't, I have to be no contact. They have to make the first move, like blah, 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 blah. Okay. When we feel that it isn't our choice, right? We have the 2 of Wands here. When we feel like we have no choices and that we're just sitting here like, that's the only way, that's the only thing that can be, that can happen. Let me tell you, we always have choices in life. And when we feel like we don't have choices in life, we're not looking hard enough, because there's always a choice. And you have the 7 of Cups here, and you have the 2 of Wands here, and you have this Tower here. And so sometimes it's looking at the ways in which we have told ourselves, this is not an option, that's not an option, that's not an option. And you know what? Maybe some of them are not options. And maybe some of them are things that you've decided that I'm uncomfortable doing that, I'm not going to do that. Those things, that's fine. That is you making a choice, right? But there are other things, right, where it's like so-and-so told us, or we watched this video, or we read this book, or we saw it on Instagram, or, you know, we saw a tarot card reader on YouTube. Don't ever give your own autonomous power away to a tarot card reading. You always have a choice, okay? And sometimes we can't see clearly when we keep replaying in our head this idea that we don't have a choice. And sometimes we've built this entire tower to protect ourselves, not realizing that what we were really doing was protecting ourselves, in order to, you know, and that tower, in protecting ourselves, has removed the choice from us, right? Because we're pinned in on all sides. The tower can always fall, right? We know that for sure. But with the Five of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the Two of Wands, this is a faulty way of thinking or something that we're telling ourselves that needs to come down, that needs to change in order for us to see clearly, in order for us to have clarity, and in order for us to have success and to be fully informed about our choices. And what it is we need to look at our future and what it is we're actually wanting. And we have to make the choices that are in alignment with that. And if there are choices that we have told ourselves are not a choice, right? To protect ourselves, right? Then we're not really being truthful. It's something that has to come down. This relationship wants to happen. Either it's this relationship with this past person or it's a new opportunity that's coming. And in order for this new opportunity to work out, we have to break these things down. We have to fix this shit. You have the Eight of Pentacles here. There's a lot of hard work that has been done to master the self. And whatever this is that's still falling, it's really only falling in an effort to help us master ourselves. And what is this? This is to help us step into our authenticity and our truth. We saw that Page of Cups being in reverse, and we saw something else that was saying that we weren't vulnerable or that an apology was needed, right? This is where we do that. It's our fear of rejection and our... This is giving me like not seeing the choice that's in front of your face. Like, take the fucking cup. It's there, you know? Offer. Sometimes you got to offer the cup in order to get the cup. Sometimes you're going to offer your cup to somebody who doesn't have the eyes to see it, doesn't value it, doesn't realize the capacity of it and what the offer really is. That happens in life, and that's okay. You take your cup back and you keep trucking. You know, and you recognize that's not on you. You offered your cup honestly with integrity and true intention behind it. This person wasn't able to receive it, and that's okay. That's going to happen. That's par for the course. We're all human beings dealing with our own shit here. But we can't let fear and illusion keep us stuck and in a place where we can't open up to what we really actually want, the thing that we haven't given up on. For some of you, what you haven't given up on is love. For others of you, you haven't given up on a particular person. I'm getting sometimes you have to offer it in order to receive it. You have to offer authenticity, truth, and vulnerability in order to receive it back. Like, we can't expect or whatever the other person to just give it to us. Jeez. You've gotten the Ace of Swords in every deck. This is a major conversation. This is the potential for success and victory at this time, guys. Oh, no. Let me drink my tea. I think I'm going to cough. I literally had just said to my husband, oh my God, my knee is feeling so much better. And then I fell and I freaking messed up my ribs. And the ribs is way worse than the knee. But sometimes it happens. I have no regrets. All right. You have the Two of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Eight of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Page of Pentacles, clarifying this Ace of Cups with the Six of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Some of you are dealing with an individual with dark hair. Actually, it's so funny. As I said the dark hair, I saw the blonde hair peeking out of the Fool. All right, I don't know. But I really was like seeing all of this dark hair being like, this is a dark-haired person. Take it as it resonates, guys. For some of you, I'm even getting like olive colored skin. Like that's like tan, that turns tanner in the summer sun. I don't know, that may be significant. I have no idea. There is something that has been stagnant it feels like we've been, you know, either this is you and you've been in a space where you've been like, I'm not looking for love, I'm not opening up, I'm not looking to feel it, to kind of like, oh, okay, this has potential, I'm starting to see something, or I'm starting to look for it, I'm starting to observe people in a different energy, in a different way, where I'm seeing the possibility, or I'm looking for the possibility, or I'm kind of responding to people differently in my life as I meet them or as I come into contact with them, where it's like, okay, I might be more open to love. This can also be a situation where you haven't heard from someone, or where you closed off to someone that, or they closed off to you, and then there's some kind of like spying here, or some kind of curiosity, wondering how the other person is doing, potentially even like reaching out to this person lightheartedly, or them reaching out to you. That starts off some kind of communication, and then it's like it leads to potentially some kind of offer to see each other in person, with the Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. It's like, well, we really need to talk this out. There's a spiritual lesson that's learned here. This card, the Six of Wands, I feel like you guys just got this the other day in that super short reading. It's like engagement after, you know, you go to battle, and this can be an internal battle. This can be the transformation that takes place within. And then it's like you show back up and you're ready for some deeper level of commitment here. This is a card of engagement. There's something moving here, Pisces. The Eight of Wands can be Cupid's arrow, so this could be somebody brand new who comes into your life really unexpectedly when you open up to see, when you open up to the idea of someone else. It can also be, with this past person, communication that starts off as sort of like an email or a DM or a text or something like that. Typically with swords, it's like technological, you know, it's like over the phone or over the internet. And then it builds to a deeper conversation that it's like it just keeps going back and forth. And then there's like a, hey, let's actually meet up kind of energy here. But Pisces, you definitely have something coming in here in the way of love, in the way of a soulmate. So, okay, take it as it resonates. Let me get you guys some messages. Okay. Guys, I'm so upset. I have like so many things this week happening that I've been looking forward to for a really long time. And I have this rib like this. If anyone knows how to like get around with a messed up rib, like, cause I know they can't really do anything for you. Like I'm doing the ice and heat thing, but if you have any suggestions on how I can actually still live my life, I would really appreciate anything. All right, if you're dealing with a water sign, you're getting twin flames. I want a future with you. I thought about reaching out, but I don't know what to say. Good intentions. I'm sending you telepathic messages. If you're dealing with a fire sign, okay, you deserve more. This person may have thought they weren't good enough for you. I'm trying to figure things out. We will be together again. I want to be vulnerable with you. Distant. There could be distance here. Ow. Oh, fuck. Oh, all of that for hopeful. Okay. If you are dealing with an earth sign, you guys have been through the most with me, I swear. All right, if you're dealing with an earth sign, my karmic story is ending. You are hard to forget. I had only known, if I had only known then what I know now. Sometimes these cards with this font is difficult. I don't care what people think anymore. Angry. I'm choosing you. Air sign. controlling. I remember everything you said. Honest. Guilt. Nostalgic. All right, guys, this is what I have for you. I really hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I really do appreciate your interaction. And if you know any like tips and tricks for ribs that are messed up, I don't know if I broke a rib. I don't know if I bruised my ribs. I literally fell on concrete on my ribs. And so I'm short of breath, and it's like, it's terrible. It's really like sitting down, standing up, trying to sleep, anything. It's pretty awful. All right. But anyway, so if you have any tips or tricks, I'd really appreciate it. I'm doing the ice heat thing, and resting a lot. I've read so many books. I read like 3 books in a day. Because I could just sit there and read. It was amazing. Anyway, all right. This is what I have for you. I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.